RIGOL DS1202Z-E Digitaloszilloskop. Honest proof it catches what other scopes miss.
You are mid-debug. The signal looks almost right, and your scope cannot show what is hiding underneath. That frustration is more common than anyone admits. An engineering student once chased a glitch for 2 evenings. It was sitting there the whole time. Signal problems hide in plain sight. Been there? Drop a comment. You are not alone. Every missed waveform burns time you cannot afford. Repeated inconclusive measurements feel genuinely suffocating. One embedded developer watched a product launch slip 2 weeks because a subtle fault stayed invisible on a shallow memory scope. The clarity was always there. The tool was not. Clarity changes everything. Something better exists, and it is much closer than most people realize. This is exactly where the RIGOL DS1202Z-E Digitaloszilloskop enters the picture, and that deep debugging frustration quietly begins to dissolve. Don't just pick any digital oscilloscope, make sure it has deep 24 megpoints memory with a high waveform capture rate so you avoid missing rare glitches and losing critical signal data during long debugging sessions entirely. The DS1202Z-E delivers 30,000 waveforms per second through ultravision technology, which means invisible one-time faults finally have nowhere to hide on your screen anymore. The 200 MHz bandwidth paired with a 1 gigasamples per second sample rate handles embedded signals cleanly and without compromise. Built-in serial decoding for UART, I2C, and SPI removes the need for external analyzers entirely. A firmware engineer debugging a stubborn I2C bus fault decoded the full communication failure directly on screen in under 3 minutes, saving an entire afternoon of manual tracing work. The 7-inch intensity-graded display shows genuine waveform depth rather than flat lines, making complex signal behavior readable and interpretable at a glance. Deep memory means nothing gets missed. The 60,000 frame record and playback feature is the quiet bonus most buyers discover after purchase and immediately wonder how they ever managed without it. Once the RIGOL DS1202Z-E Digitaloszilloskop becomes part of your daily workflow, the efficiency shift becomes genuinely difficult to ignore over time. Engineers consistently report spending far less time hunting intermittent faults because the 30,000 waveforms per second capture rate surfaces signal problems that slower scopes statistically miss during standard acquisition windows. An electronics test specialist noted that the combination of deep 24 megpoints memory and high capture rate rivals instruments in a significantly higher price bracket for practical everyday debugging tasks. A respected electronics educator who uses this scope regularly in tutorials described the built-in serial protocol decode as a genuine time compressor, hours of painstaking manual analysis on complex I2C and SPI buses reduced to just minutes. An independent analyst observed that RIGOL's ultra-vision architecture consistently disrupts mid-range oscilloscope expectations, calling the DS1202Z-E a strong and reliable choice across both classroom settings and professional lab environments equally. One field service engineer shared that switching from an aging benchtop unit felt immediately intuitive, almost zero relearning required from the very first session. Smart tools simplify complex problems. If you worry this scope feels overwhelming, the 37 automated measurements and guided triggering system make it practical and accessible from day one. See why so many professionals now refuse to work without it. Which matters most to your workflow? Deep memory, serial decode, or waveform capture rate? Drop your answer in the comments right now. The RIGOL DS1202Z-E Digitaloszilloskop has earned its place on benches worldwide for one clear reason. It consistently delivers where debugging actually counts most. Join the many engineers, hobbyists, and educators already experiencing cleaner sessions, fewer callbacks, and faster fault identification with this scope in their daily kit. Results may naturally vary by application, but feedback across professional and education environments remains remarkably consistent. The link is in the description, first one pinned to the top. Real tools, real results. Click through and see why this upgrade genuinely makes sense for your workflow starting today.
For demo videos and current pricing, check the link in the description.